welcome to Camille's Country Corner. I am Camille, and on today's episode, we will be making breakfast prep. So I'm going to be making some breakfast bowls, getting ready for my week of work, and we will also be making some pumpkin apple streusel muffins. All right, let's get started. I'm glad you stopped by here with me today to bake and meal prep, and let me show you what you need for the recipe. Before we get started, don't forget to hit subscribe. Definitely hit that like button. Let's go. For our first recipe, we are making the apple pumpkin streusel muffins. We need, of course, flour, sugar, some salt, couple of eggs, some apples, pumpkin pie spice, baking soda and vegetable oil, and some cinnamon. Let's put this together. All right, we have some apples here. I have 4 apples. We need about 2 cups of apples. I'm going to go ahead and just peel these. This is the last of my apples, I think, or really close to the last of my apples that I have from the orchard. I believe these are wine sap apples. And I've stored them in the crisper of my refrigerator, so they last a lot longer. Now, I don't know about you, but I always try to breakfast prep for my week because it's really hard to make breakfast every morning for everyone. We all get up at different times, and especially since this is the holiday week, Christmas is going to be on Saturday. So we all have different times that we're going to work. Just makes my life a little bit easier. Okay, I'm just gonna get these all diced up. All right, now that we have all the apples cut up, let's go ahead and go to our next step. So I have 2 cups of sugar in the bowl, and we're going to put in a 1/2 cup of vegetable oil, or whatever oil of your choice. And 2 eggs. Ooh. Oh, we have a shell. We have a shell. Caught the shell. Okay. Let me go rinse my hands real quick. And we also need 1 can of pumpkin. All right, what I meant to say is 1 cup of pumpkin. If I said 1 can, didn't quite mean that. So we've just got some pumpkin pie, or I'm sorry, we just got pumpkin puree, not the pumpkin pie filling, because that already has sugar in it and we don't want that. So we are just going to do 1 cup of pumpkin. Okay. You can do that by hand, but I just went ahead and took some help from my mixer today. In my bowl, I have 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. You can use whatever flour of your choice. If you want to make these gluten-free, fantastic. We need 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1/2 teaspoon well, no. We need 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon in our streusel topping, but we'll get to that here in a second. For this mixture, you need 1 tablespoon of pumpkin pie spice. I make my own, and I go ahead and put it in a little container that says pumpkin pie spice. You can pre-mix your own, or you can make some. It's cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, allspice, and ginger. And I may have a recipe for that down below because I make it myself. All right, we're going to go ahead and put in a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just going to eyeball that here. I'm using some pink Himalayan salt today. That's what I have. Usually I use kosher. Okay, now we are going to mix the dry in with our wet, and you can definitely do this by hand. Again, I'm just choosing to use my mixer today. With any quick breads or muffins, you don't want to overmix, so I have just undermixed just a bit because I am going to be folding in my 2 cups of apples. You can definitely do shredded apples here. I just diced mine, and I ended up only using 3 because to me that looked like the 2 cups. This next part is up to you whether you want to add it or not. I am going to add probably about a cup of pecans. Okay, now we're going to do our streusel topping. We have a 1/4 cup of sugar in here, just granulated sugar. We have 2 tablespoons of flour. We have a 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon. And now I'm going to be adding a tablespoon of cold butter. And we're just going to cut that into cubes to make it easier. I'm sorry, you cannot see me. Cutting it into cubes so we can incorporate it better into our streusel topping. So with my pastry blender, we're going to go ahead and just mix this all together till it resembles wet sand. That certainly is noisy, isn't it? All right, now that we have made our streusel topping, that's what it should look like. So this recipe makes 1.5 dozen muffins. I'm using these muffin liners. I got these at Amazon. I'll try to link that below. And we're gonna fill these about, you can actually overfill these because these liners are wonderful. So I'm putting in 1 full ice cream scoop. And then if we have anything left over, I'll just top them off. Make sure you can see everything that I'm doing here. You cannot, so just give me a second and I'll start with this end. Okay, we have a little bit of extra here, so let's go ahead and fill these up so we don't waste any of that wonderful, glorious muffin mix that we have made from scratch. Probably could have gotten 2 dozen out of this. I just didn't want to pull out another thing of pie tins, muffin tins. Wow. All right, so I'm putting anywhere from 1 tablespoon to a 1/2 tablespoon of streusel topping on these. All right, we have just enough. I have my oven preheated at 350 degrees. We are going to put these in there for about 30 to 35 minutes, depending on your oven. So, see you in 30 minutes. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and dice up a 1/2 of an onion here. And you can do a whole onion, depending on how many bowls you wanna do. I wanna do at least 6. So I'm doing 6 breakfast bowls. If it's more, that's great. I also have a yellow pepper here. You can do any pepper of your choice. I am doing some ham, potatoes, eggs, and cheese breakfast bowls. And right now, we're just gonna go ahead and do all of our prep work and get these all chopped up and ready to go, so we can start to cook everything up. Saute our vegetables, fry our potatoes. I have some small creamer potatoes, that's what I had left, and I have some Yukons. I have went ahead and parboiled these, so they are halfway done, so it doesn't take as long to fry them up. It just cuts down that time. Just makes my work a little bit easier. So what I did is I just put it in some just plain old water. You can salt your water if you like. And I put them in there for about 15-20 minutes until I could get my knife going through them easily. And then I let them cool off completely. All right, I'm going to continue to dice everything up. I'm going to also dice up my ham, make it small as well. I have a couple of tablespoons of olive oil and about 4 tablespoons of butter. And we're just going to go ahead and get that started, and I'm going to throw my vegetables on to saute. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add our vegetables in. Okay. I am going to be mixing up 6 breakfast bowls. So I am going to be doing a dozen eggs. That is 2 eggs per bowl, if it equals out that way. On top of the ham, the cheese, the potatoes, the onions, and the peppers. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to scramble them once all the vegetables are ready and have been sauteed and fried in our butter and oil mixture. All right, to my 12 eggs, I'm going to probably add about a 1/2 cup of milk. You can omit if you don't like fluffy eggs. We do, so that's what I'm making. All right, let's take you back over to the stove where our food is still cooking away. All right, at this point, I'm going to start seasoning. So we're going to add some pepper. I'm going to add some paprika. Probably about a half a teaspoon. We've got a little bit of garlic powder. About the same, half a teaspoon, and some onion powder, same amount. And I'm also going to be adding a little bit of warm spice. I am going to be adding some chili powder and some cumin. If you do not like these spices, leave them out. Probably about a half a teaspoon of that as well. Or if you have some taco seasoning, you can add that. Okay. Now we're just going to let these potatoes crisp up a bit. And get brown. That will probably take a good 10 to 15 minutes. So I'll bring you back when that starts to happen. Okay, now that we have a nice crust on our potatoes, and they are actually cooked through, I am going to go ahead and add my ham. And we're going to get that cooking. I've probably got about 2 cups of ham here, diced up. All right, I'm going to add a little more pepper. We're going to add a little bit of salt this time. This is the first time I am salting this dish. All right, to everything else, I'm going to start to add in our dozen eggs. And we're going to scramble all of this up. Now I am using an extra large skillet here. And I'm going to switch to a spoon because it's just going to be easier to mix. Because I am making a huge mess. All right, I am going to salt one more time now that we have our eggs in. One more round of pepper. Okay, friends, I have now cooked the whole thing. And now I am going to be adding some feta cheese. I have a 5-ounce container of feta. You can omit the cheese if you want, but why would you? It's delicious. Okay, at this point, it is ready. And we're going to go ahead and turn this off, cool it down, and then I will show you how I package everything. All right, now that everything is cooled off enough to package, not top it yet because it is still hot, we're going to go ahead and add a couple of spoonfuls to each bowl. All right, it looks like we definitely got more than 6 bowls here. So I'll have to just grab a couple more. The nice thing about this, though, if you've made too much, like I just did here, and we have a short week because of the holiday, then I could freeze some of these and we can have them whenever we need them. All right, let's go ahead and grab some more bowls and then we will give everything a try. Here are the apple pumpkin streusel muffins once they are done. Don't they look fabulous? All right, we're gonna go ahead and give our bowl a try. It is packed with egg, ham, potatoes, onion, pepper. You can definitely taste the cumin, the warm spices, the chili powder, paprika, salt, pepper, the garlic. It's all wonderful. This is a nice protein-packed breakfast to start your day off. And then we have our apple pumpkin streusel muffins with some pecans. Tastes just like cake. This and a nice cup of coffee if that's what you drink. I drink tea. You just can't beat this, having this in the morning. Get you going through your day. I hope you try these recipes. If you do, leave me a comment. Let me know what kind of breakfast bowls that you make and what kind of muffins you make. And I would like to try your recipe as well. All right, friends. I am so glad you stopped by here today. If you haven't yet, definitely hit that subscribe button. Absolutely hit that like button. And I'm glad you came and baked and cooked with us today. And we will catch you on the next one. Bye.